Now, with the ECE primary and the secondary courses, the three courses that we've just talked about, the grad dips and the PGs and the masters, my first question is, while the courses are going on, how is the practical component made to fit into the actual overall course? And if it's different for the three, then please do talk about that. Are these students getting any assistance from the university when they are looking for those placements during those practicums? How does it work?
Sure. So essentially, the students would have two base schools through their year, in which they would spend a fair amount of time. They would have a 1 day a week base day that they would spend in the school. So that's kind of a day where we hope that they're engaging in some smaller teaching activities. They're getting a sense of what the teacher does, the day-to-day kind of interactions. And then they would have longer form placements during the year as well. They're slightly different depending on the sector in terms of the length of time. So for primary, for example, they have 3 long form professional experiences. The first one at the beginning of the year, so they can see how do you set up a classroom, all that kind of getting it set up and organized with the kids coming in, how do you establish relationships. And it's quite good, I think, to get the students into a classroom early so they can really see what it's going to look like. And then they would stay in that class that they've done the long professional experience in for their base day. And they would stay in there until about early mid-August, when they would move to another class for a longer professional experience. That at that stage, they'll be taking more of the class themselves. They'll be teaching small groups, doing a little bit of full control. And then in the trimester B, they'd move to a totally different school. They'd do the 1 day a week again to get to know them. And then they'd finish off with a much longer form professional experience where for 3 weeks of it, they are the teacher at the end. And we've got our students doing that one now. But by the time they get to that, they've been well scaffolded into things and they really understand, what they need to be doing, and they're really preparing themselves for their own teacher, personality and such.
I kind of picked up those really 2 important things that you've just said. One, the university will find the second school for them just to make sure that they can get that diversity, they can get a range. And so I think for those of you that are listening, that's quite a key takeaway, that, you're not just out there looking at the next school that you can find. This is obviously something this is the help that you get from the university as well. I think that sort of rounds it up really nicely for me. Obviously leaving people with the fact that you've got the next intake really, really close. It's just here. You do need to start now. We will share the English test that you can do, that Tanya has just very kindly shared with us as well. So you can absolutely get onto those. Tanya, I also understand that, University of Waikato has kind of got this industry leadership in the education space. So tell us about that. We were talking about this offline.
Yeah. So we University of Waikato has been offering teacher education programs for longer than any other university in New Zealand. So the school does have some very solid relationships with local schools that they're able to work with and place students into a placement where they would be suitable. So yeah, we are quite strong in that area, and we have been teaching teachers for a very long time in New Zealand.
Thank you very much, ladies. There's quite a lot of information in here that we've shared with you guys. Guys, if you have questions, please put them in the comments and we will be addressing them. But you need to start now for the January intake.